So let's take a look. Let's go back into the history databases. I'm going to do a quick search for you in a database just to go over some of the features. And now this database I'm going to go over is America History and Life. And basically most of the databases have similar features. They might look a little different, but they should pretty much all have similar features and search functionality. So the first thing you'll want to do is when you start a search, make sure that you have alternative search terms so that you can search for, have a different search strategies. So for example, if you're searching for something that has to do with World War II, for example. So you'll want to, you can search, for example, WW2 or spell out World War II or anything that would be related to that. So always have a backup search topics that are similar so that you can search. And I'll show you some examples of that. So in my initial search, I'm just going to try a search. So I want to search for Vietnam War and then protests, for example. So as you can see here, it is offering some alternative search terms here. So it could be protests or demonstrations. Where for now we're going to leave it at protests just so I can show you a search. I'm not going to change any of my search functions quite yet, and we will go over those changes in a bit. So now we'll search. So my initial search comes up with 610 results. There's a couple of different ways, or several different ways, to narrow down your searches here. On the left-hand side, you will see a limit to option. So you can limit it to full text. I usually don't recommend narrowing it down to full text, only because even if the article is not available in the database, you could request it through our interlibrary loan. There is a separate video that I have that I will include that talks about interlibrary loan and how to access and sign up for it. You can exclude book reviews. Please be careful with book reviews. Do not use them as a source. It's just a book review. So just make sure that you don't use those. Now, if you want to narrow down to peer reviewed, you can also check off this box. So let's do that. So from 600 something, we go down to 484. And you can continue to narrow down if you'd like by dates. So for example, let's say you only want the latest 10 years. You can narrow it down by the dates, so it'd be like 2010 to 2020. Right now, this is telling me that my results range from 1965 to 2019. So all of the articles that are listed here were published between 1965 and 2019. So we're going to leave that for now. You could narrow it down by language as well. So if you only want articles in English, you can do that. You can, as you can see, we do have some in German, some in French, Japanese, Polish. I'm going to leave that for now, but that is just an option, just to let you know. So as you're looking through these articles, you'll notice that some of them say PDF full text, some of them say HTML and PDF full text, and then some of them will say check for full text. So the previous two, PDF and HTML, that means the full text is available now and you can look at it. If you see anything that says check for a full text, that means that it is not currently available in this database. But if you click on this check for full text, it'll take you to the article if we have it available through one of our other databases. If we don't, you will be given the option to request through interlibrary loan. So let's just take a look at an article. Let's look at the second one here. So what you want to look at when you're looking at this information for this article is when you'll see the authors, the source. So this is the journal name, Journal of American History. It was published in March of 2019, volume, issue, and page range. So here's your citation information. This is historical period, covers from 1961 to 1975. It is an article. Now the subject terms is or what you really want to take a look at. The subject terms will tell you the main topics of the article, as well as give you ideas on what terms to search for future searches. So, for example, there is a subject for Vietnam War protest movements. So what you could do is go back up here and use that in your search. And to the right of that, there is a drop-down menu. So you can add an additional search feature. If you know, for example, the name of an author, so if you're looking for articles by a specific author because you know that this person writes about this topic, you can do that. If you have a specific article that you're looking for, you can type in the title. In this case, we know that this is listed as a subject within this database, so we can select subject, and what that will do is it'll bring up articles that have Vietnam War protest movements as a subject. So just to check, let's see what happens. So we have 484, and now if we search, we're down to 55. So we've cut down our search pretty drastically just by changing that one thing. So let's go back to that article again. And again, there's some more options here if any of these fit your topic. Abstract. So this is a nice summary of the article. So you don't have to read the full article initially, just read the abstract, and then if the abstract sounds like it's something, it sounds like an article that you could use for your research, then go ahead and read the full article. But that's what the abstract is for, to give you a little brief introduction into the article. And your DOI, so usually you'll use this in your citations. On the right hand side, you will see you can add to folder. So as you're going through these lists of articles, you can add them to a folder, and at the end you can email them to yourself. So I'm going to add this to the folder, and then I'll show you where to do that. You can print articles, you can email them, you can save them, you can cite. So when you click on the Cite feature, you'll see there are different citation styles. Just be aware that this is not perfect. Sometimes the citations are off. For example, the titles are incorrectly formatted. The formatting is usually the problem. But you can use this again as a tool to capture all of the citation information. Just make sure that it is in the correct citation format for whatever format you're using. Okay, so let's say I want to email myself this article. If you click on email, you will be able to email this individual article. Or if you go to folder at the top, you will see a list of everything you've saved in the folders, and from here you just select everything, email, enter your email, and then send, and you will get these emails from EBSCO, which is the company that hosts this database. And like I said, as you're typing in, you will see some possible other search terms. So protests or demonstrations, or marches, civil disobedience, activism. So many terms you can use for protests and protesting. So keep that in mind. Again, keep a running list of possible alternative search terms. That will help a lot. And again, take a look at the subjects and use this terminology because this is the terminology used within the database. So let's go back to the library homepage. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My email is ndurian@laverne.edu. And again, my contact information is under About Us and Library Directory.